Alright guys, so I want to show you one more thing before we wrap up this segment about external mixers and preferences. This ain't going to quite be the end of the preferences, but the end of the audio preferences. Up to this point, I've shown you guys 6 mixers that are USB compatible with the Force. And so at the end of that, I thought, what would be the best combination of those mixers? And I think the answer to that question are, or is, these two right here. The Keith McMillan K-Mix and the JBL Active 1. I think that they are the best combo because of the features that they offer separately, right? This JBL gives me the ability to control the volume of my input and output from this big old knob here. Nice. You got 2 headphone outputs. You've got 4 inputs again. You can monitor your force from the JBL, of course, right? Because it's an external mixer. We did that earlier. But what makes all of this so cool, I think, and what I'm really hoping to show in this segment of this video, is the power of the Force. Now, as we have done before, we're talking about our audio device. And we can see here we're still set to the internal. So we can go to note mode, play something from it. Okay. Now if we want to switch to an external device, again we double click on the chooser box. And as you can see, we have 2 mixers hooked up in there now. We have the Brown from Texas Instruments, which is the JBL, and the Keith McMillan Instruments, obviously. So what that says is that we can have 2 mixers at a minimum hooked up to this machine, that is the Force. So again, we're running the internal audio through our sound card. We're going to switch it to the JBL. And as you can see, it switched to the USB audio, which is the JBL. And now when I push it, we don't hear anything. If you recall from the previous segment of the video, to hear from the JBL, you have to push the segment that you want to monitor. So we're going to monitor the turn down your audio, turn down the audio, because it feeds back in. It's one channel. Whoa. Now we can hear what's coming back into our JBL. See the monitor level go up on our JBL. Something like that. So again, that's what makes the JBL so cool. So now we can turn that up and down, right? We can control the volume from the volume knob. We have all our other devices connected to it. I've got my turntable connected. Just like that. Okay, so all that's coming through the JBL, right? You can see it through the meter. Now, I've got my TP7, and it's coming also through the JBL. The thing with the JBL, again, is it doesn't have um, volume control for each individual track. So, because it doesn't have volume control, we can't independently turn up this volume of this TP7, regardless of whether this TP7 is all the way up or all the way down. It doesn't matter because the volume is coming through the USB into the JBL. So, that being said, you can't turn that up and down from the JBL. Then we also have here our TX6. Let's put this in play mode. So you can hear from our TX6, you can see it going through the JBL. Now I'm going to put that back in sequence mode. Now, we've just heard everything coming through the JBL. Question. Oh, and I have again my OPXY here. And it too is coming through the JBL. The thing with the JBL, again, we were maxed out in channels, so having the extra channels of the K-Mix, well, that was kind of good. Now, again, this may seem like an overkill, but what I'm trying to show you is the power of the force. So, let's see now if we can switch inputs from the JBL over to the Keith McMillan. Okay, and now we're sending our sound to the Keith McMillan K-Mix. But because the K-Mix is coming into the JBL, you're still seeing the meters. So, we can hear all our devices. And they're all coming through the JBL. Now, again, if you recall from previously in the video, if you go back to your mixer here and you go back to the mixer screen, we have our Keith McMillan K-Mix. We have our K-Mix mapped to our force, so we can turn tracks up and down. So if I create a sequence in here, because that's mapped to the instrument inadvertently, so I'm turning the volume up and down in the instrument. This is the volume of the track. This is the volume of the instrument. If I go, but we don't want to do that. We want to keep the volume up so we can play our track. So now we have our instrument mapped to the mixer. The fader is mapped to the Keith McMillan. We have all our instruments running through here. And what makes this setup so powerful, the force, so powerful. Now, you can still go back to your menu. Up to this point, we've just been talking about audio preferences. So I'm in the audio, we've been talking about our audio device. We talked a little bit about the Bluetooth settings last time when we hooked up our TX6. But now, I'm back in the Bluetooth settings. I've got my TP7 hooked up. I'm sorry, I've got my TX6 hooked up, as you can see there. I've got my OPXY hooked up. I've got my TP7, as you can see there, and they are all connected Bluetooth MIDI. So when I go back over here to sync and I come down here to sync and I check all of those, now when I start the force, all of my TX devices will start like this. Now as you can see, they kind of went out of sync there. Supposed to be at 119. So let me stop that. Let's go back to our comm here. We're still hooked up. We're still hooked up. TX6, OPXY, let's sync that again. Try that again. There we go. You can see it doesn't work very well, to be honest. I mean, we're talking Bluetooth MIDI with 3 different devices. But that's running at 118. That's running at 118. That's running at 118.
Fantastic 10-inch vinyl record, full of sounds for your creative soul to digest.
Side A contains loose lyrics for you to live.
There we go. So again, I know this is kind of overkill. What I'm trying to show you again is the power of this machine that is the force. We're starting and stopping 3 different devices, 4 devices including the force, via Bluetooth MIDI. They're all hooked up, running external audio through external USB mixers, while being able to use MIDI to control the mixer volume. This machine is the bomb. So up to this point, I'm just trying to again share with you guys what I know about this machine, how it works, why I love it so much. If you found anything in this segment informative at all, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Share this with your friends, because I ain't seen nobody else doing this. I've hooked up 1, 2, 3 devices, Bluetooth MIDI, 2 mixers, all of them hooked up to the force. And you can see the ins and outs all right here. Man, this is the bomb. So, just another reason why I think the force is everything. Will they make a new one? I don't know. But as long as they keep updating this, keep the software fresh, keep the bugs out of it, boy, I'm gonna keep rocking with the force. My name's GB. Thanks for checking me out. I'll see you guys in the next one.